Hello and welcome to Aviation This Week. I am Bukola Koka. Coming up on the program, we'll take a look at the impasse between aviation ground handlers and the authorities as there is an impending 300% increase on charges for their service. Also on the program, we'll be speaking with an aviation expert on issues bedeviling the sector. Welcome once again. As we start off, our background report takes a look at repatriation of funds for foreign carriers.
History was made Thursday as the newly constructed Ebonyi International Airport recorded its first flight operation. The landing of the first two set of flights serves as a test operation to signal the commencement of full aviation activities at the airport. This test flight, which took place at the Ebonyi International Airport in Onekwe, Eza South local government area of Ebonyi State, is a statement to many months of construction work leading up to the opening of now to be known as President Muhammadu Buhari International Airport. To demonstrate the readiness of the facility, two flights operated by Air Peace landed at the brand new runway. The governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, said the edifice will be commissioned by President Muhammadu Buhari in less than 2 weeks.
Going forward from the first week of May, we intend to fund free of charge 2 aircraft a week, 2 from Lagos, 2 from Abuja. Anyone that will use this place, you don't need to pay any money. You don't need to pay. You don't need to pay. Just know the dates of flight. You will come here, and those who are taking off from here, same aircraft, you don't need to pay. We will continue to pay for the next 4 weeks. And I know that the enthusiasm of the governor-elect, he will continue this because he has a large heart until this airport becomes the busiest airport in the country. And let me announce also that Mr. President will be coming in less than 10 days to commission this airport. And we have offered this airport again to Mr. President for the federal government to take it over and concession it. That is what will help the airport to be busy, and that is what will sustain the airport. Government is not a good manager of business. But what is our interest? The IGR that will come from it. What is our interest? The people that will come and go from this place. What is our interest? Ebonyi State has come of age. And so we will do that.
The Ebonyi International Airport is believed to be strategically located and has the potential of turning around the economic fortune of Ebonyi and adjoining states.
For people of Ebonyi, wonderful, we are here. My people in the Northern Cross River are also going to be the major beneficiaries, because when an Ogoja man wants to travel by air, why will he be going to Calabar when he could just come here? If nobody from Ogoja wants to travel anywhere by air, why will he go to Calabar when he could just come here? And so because maybe people like, from Akampa, now might think that Calabar is nearer them. But otherwise, this airport will serve many states. Benue is just there. Abia is there. You know, and even our neighboring Enugu people. There are some that here is definitely shorter than going to Enugu to board an aircraft. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that is happening here today.
So far, this airport has created more than 300 jobs, direct jobs. I'm not talking of indirect jobs. This airport has also opened up this particular community. This is our South Axis. I can say that this place is now a hotcake. It has also enhanced the value of the land, because the investment opportunities here will increase. The development opportunities here will also increase. And a lot of people will now go for blue-collar jobs instead of white-collar jobs.
As Eboyans and Nigerians wait the full commencement of activities at the Ebonyi International Airport, it is believed that this project will enable citizens in this part of Nigeria be able to explore and exploit available human and material economic resources.
On our interview segment today, President of Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative, Mr. Gbenga Olowo, speaks on the issues on repatriation of funds of foreign carriers and how to achieve a dedicated carrier for Nigeria.
Recommendation for the incoming administration: if you are serious about aviation in Nigeria, is sanctity of contract. Watch my lips. Sanctity of contract. And if we're going to look at number one breach that Nigeria is breaching today, is this home remittance of foreign airlines from Nigeria. It is an absolute breach of international trade. Absolute breach of international trade. We're not doing these airlines a favor. They are delivering services that we need, that we are not able to reciprocate. We can't do it. If they shut down one day, there will be serious security challenges in this country. Airlines up to 5, 10, 7, they are in Nigeria, they are trading for 3, 4, 5 years, and their funds are here. As at end of March, the airlines backlog of home remittance is $718 million as at end of March. $780 million. And that accounts for 44% the backlog in the entire world. That means we are deliberately doing this, which should not be so. Airline home remittance, according to bilateral air services agreement, is that when airlines trade in your country, excess of earnings after taxes and all other expenditures must be repatriated back to their country because they needed the funds for a lot of other things at home, for their fueling, for their maintenance, for their expansion, name it. And that's going to happen to Nigerian Airlines when we go out. Air Peace is going to China. He's going to Israel. If he has excess funds back there, he should be able to remit them back to Nigeria. So we're breaching. And that's the incentive for investors. It's not only investors in the airline industry, investors in every other field. Let's open the window whereby passengers will elect. It's by election to pay either in Naira or in dollars. Not by compulsion, by election. That way, you will see that almost all the foreign airlines now, they are withdrawing their inventories from Nigeria. What do I mean? In the month of March, in the month of April, that we are, booking volume in Nigeria has dropped to 50%. They are not allowing their seats to be sold in Nigeria. Because if they get the funds, they won't be able to repatriate the money. They're blocking their seats. They are withdrawing inventory rather than quitting totally. And they might eventually quit. I remember in the is it early 90s or late 80s, we had the same experience in Nigeria. 4 airlines left this country because of this problem. I remember Scandinavian Airlines, Swiss Air, Iberia, and Varig Brazilian Airline. 4 major airlines. The trade between those 2 countries collapsed. Have we concluded the issue on the backlog of foreign airlines remittance? If we have, then national carrier subject. I have repeated severally that national carrier concept is outdated and is no longer fashionable. And that's why we couldn't give back to national carrier in 8 years. The contemporary thing today is flag carriers. No one single airline can comfortably reciprocate all the routes that the foreign airlines are operating today. Not a single airline. So Nigeria has to be intentional. Watch my lips, intentional, are setting up 2 to 3 strong airlines. 2 to 3. AMCON mentioned that one time, that ARIC is wasting, Aero is wasting. Why don't you put these 2 airlines together? They make one strong airline. Airpeace is already there, flying the flag. That's the flag carrier. So who is deceiving who? Anybody carrying the flag is a national carrier. So as we have it today, we must be intentional to parade 2 to 3 strong airlines who will compete, bring fares down, and deliver efficient services for Nigerians. Tariff will go down, and we'll get beautiful service delivery we're looking for.
The planned 300% increase in handling charges in all airports by ground handlers under the aegis of NACO and SACO is also a brewing matter of concern in the aviation space.
We want to sensitize the entire nation of Nigeria, let them know what is going on. As of yesterday, after we had waited for them to respond to us, they did no response. We had to put up a letter reminding them that if this impasse lasts for 1 month, none of our members will pay 1 kobo demurrage. They will be responsible for their problem. We are not going to pay demurrage. It might be another round of crisis that will bring you back here. So the earlier they come up, we sit down and sort out our issues, better for all of us. We are not saying there should be no increment. But what we are saying is that let it have a human face. I've not seen anywhere all over the world where somebody comes up with 100% increase. It is not done anywhere. So that is our position. We are not saying don't increase. Increase, but let that increment have a human face and still keep us in business. What we have been getting is not something to write home about. If I can tell you authoritatively that most of the hand trucks used in both warehouses are bought by our members. And we are paying handling charges to the ground handlers. That's why I said that the handling we are paying, there's no corresponding services. In NACO in particular, we do not have waiting room for our members. No waiting room, no convenience. And each time they want to propose this increment, they come up with promises. We had a situation some years back when they went and hired machines, machines, positioned them for us to come and inspect. Few days after we had accepted the increment, those things disappeared. They returned them to where they rented them from.
Still to come on the program, the Nigeria Air Force commissions operation support facilities and wings 6 additional pilots for its A-29 Super Tucano aircraft. That's after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Nigeria is positioned to continue to receive logistical support from the U.S. government, as well as military personnel training in its fight against terrorism and banditry. During the commissioning of operations and support facilities for the A-29 Super Tucano jets at the Nigeria Air Force Base in Niger State, the acting U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Favored Green, made the promise on behalf of his country.
The Nigeria Air Force Base, located not too far from the famous Kainji Dam. This is where the Air Force thinks one of the latest acquisitions, the A-29 Super Tucano aircraft, can be catered for. Nigeria acquired 12 A-29 Super Tucano jets from the US government, which were fully delivered in 2022 at a cost of about $500 million to boost its capacity to fight crime, including terrorism in the country. The contract also includes the provision of over $36 million by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for infrastructure support to the A-29's own base. The leadership of the Nigeria Air Force describes the successes recorded so far as a result of this partnership as pleasant and justify the cost of acquisition of military hardware by the current administration.
Facilities we are commissioning today will enhance our capabilities to project and deliver air power in order to prosecute the war against insurgency and terrorism in concert with surface forces.
Okay, you will do well.
6 airmen trained to man the aircrafts are winged before the event then moves outside the hall for the commissioning of the aircraft sunshades. The U.S. delegation gives assurances of more support for Nigeria.
It's a relationship that has been deepening steadily every year, and I think there's great things in the future in terms of U.S.-Nigerian cooperation on security.
These aircraft are phenomenal, but without, like what you talked about, without the proper training and the proper facilities and the proper sustainment, they won't last very long. So it does require some sort of an enduring commitment to keep them up and flying.
Other facilities commissioned include a new airfield hot cargo pad and entry control point enhancements at the base.
I'm pleased to announce today that the board has appointed Vanessa Hudson to take over from Alan Joyce as Qantas Group CEO and Managing Director when Alan retires at our AGM in November this year. And Vanessa today will be appointed CEO Designate and will join the Qantas board. So congratulations, Vanessa.
Thank you. Australia's flagship carrier, Qantas Airways, on Tuesday, May 2nd, named Finance Chief Vanessa Hudson as its next Chief Executive Officer, making her the first woman to lead the century-old airline. Hudson will in November take over from Alan Joyce, whose 15 years in the job has made him the longest-serving current CEO of a major Australian company and a towering figure in the global aviation industry.
It is such an honour to be stepping into this role in November, and I'm incredibly excited about not just the opportunity but about our future because there is so much to look forward to over the coming years. I am so passionate about Qantas. I've worked for Qantas for 28 years. And that excitement of the first day that I felt walking into Qantas, I feel still today.
Qantas chairman Richard Goyder said Hudson's handling of the finance and treasury portfolio during the COVID crisis was outstanding, putting her ahead of almost 40 candidates globally that the airline had shortlisted for the job. Hudson joined Qantas 28 years ago and has held several senior roles there, including CFO, Chief Customer Officer, and Senior Vice President for the Americas and New Zealand.
And we are in an incredibly strong position. We've got many things in the pipeline. That's not to say that the past 3 years haven't been challenging. They have, and there will be many challenges, I'm sure, ahead. But my focus when I step into the role in November is going to be focused on delivering for our customers, delivering for our people, and also our shareholders and the communities we serve.
I'm also very pleased that in the 103 years of Qantas's history, there's only been 12 CEOs. This is the first female CEO in that length of time, and that's a credit to the merit and the capability of the strong women that we have in the management team. There's not many female CEOs in the worldwide aviation industry, and it's a credit to this country that a gay Irishman was appointed 15 years ago to be CEO of the company, and now we have the first female, and it's a credit to the board.
For this organization, this new addition will aid and foster growth for the parent company, thereby facilitating more world travels.
On a recent cloudy day, this single propeller plane withstood crosswinds high above the sandy football field and swooped low over the heads of onlookers in Noworoshoki, the poor neighborhood where Fatai lives in the east of the city.
I started this when I was 7. I started picking things around, making some little projects, and even I built cars before, but my focus was on airplanes because whenever I see airplane fly, it gives me a very overwhelming joy.
He starts by dusting and cutting styrofoam into his desired shape. He bought the propeller and remote control in a shop, but constructed the body, wings, tail, and fin from pieces of recycled styrofoam gathered in dump sites and held together with sticky tape. The wingspan is about 1 meter long. He saved money for 2 years before he could buy the propeller and remote control.
I'm a self-taught engineer. I didn't learn it from anyone. I learned it on my own, through my research that I did online on the internet.
Fatai hopes his technology will contribute to Nigeria's development. His labor of love is now propelling his dreams. A tech company gave him an internship after he was spotted piloting the plane, an important first step towards his goal of becoming an aeronautic engineer.
Dubai, a choice destination for fund seekers and many businesses and homeowners, has made one more advance to live up to its name and expectations as an innovation hub. This time, a 39-year-old Polish pilot has succeeded in landing his small aircraft with no guide on a pathway and headwinds, as his runway is the helipad of the Burj Al Arab in Dubai. The helipad, which is near the top of the 56-story building, stands 212 meters in the air and has in the past been a site for movies as well as exhibition performances involving tennis, golf, and Formula One.
Oh my gosh!
For the 39-year-old Red Bull pilot who has made 650 test landings in Poland, the United States, and Dubai as preparations for stunts, he expresses his pleasure at being able to achieve this feat.
To be honest, I couldn't feel happier. 2 years in the making, third attempt, and we've managed to put a plane on a helipad 200 meters above the ground on the most iconic, the most beautiful building in the world, which is absolutely fantastic, So, I couldn't be happier. We started to make a history here.
Mike Party, a prominent aviation engineer who made some modifications to the jet used in the project, explains some of the processes involved.
We needed them to land before a white circle line, but not before the edge of the building. And we said, hey, if we can have our perfect landing, like the perfect one, I want to see you put black marks between the two white marks, the outer ring off the building and the inner white line. He hit exactly in the dead center. And so when you say bullseye, I know people think it's the carbon cup sitting on the H right here. No, it is those two black marks in a spot this big.
This time, a 39-year-old Polish pilot has succeeded in landing his small aircraft with no guide on a runway and amidst headwinds, as his runway is the helipad of the Burj Al Arab in Dubai.
And this is where we touch down on the program today. Thank you for watching. I am Bukola Koka. Stay safe.